Hi guys, it's Izzy. I didn't realise until I set the camera up and saw myself in the viewfinder how big the bags under my eyes are. Turns out that you can't substitute caffeine for a healthy sleeping schedule, so in order to distract from that I decided to whack on this big bad boy of a t-shirt. It's a souvenir I got from Switzerland a few years ago, and it's just got 4 cows with their boobs out, and that's there, so just enjoy the distraction there. So yeah, I'm sorry for the state that I am, but I just thought, why not film a story time video, because I've not done one of them for a while, and yeah, I just thought I'd base it around awkward customer experiences I've had and just like the joys of working in retail. Like I'm gonna do about like my retail like jobs here, because so far I've worked as a waitress and into like department stores, so I thought I'd share some stories from my like first ever job. And I've already shared a story about it on my YouTube channel before, like one big one, because that was a long one that deserved its own story time video. But then I thought I've actually got a few more stories I can crack the vault open to. Like that story time, I'm gonna leave it in the link below because it's a whopper of a story. If you haven't already seen it, the sheer awkwardness that I am as a human being, I just took the phrase "the customer is always right" to like the next extreme, and I was just like so awkwardly just continuing to say yes to things. And then this customer, bless her, she just ended up leaving the shop thinking that I was her niece and that she was my aunt. And yeah, I dug myself in a bit of a hole with that one, because turns out she's a regular customer that kept coming in, and then all my colleagues would be like, "You've not told her yet that you're not her niece, have you?" And I was like, no. So yeah, if you can already tell, like I'm not a very good person to have in customer orientated jobs, because I'm just sheer awkward. And yeah, I just want to say, like, a few of these aren't even like my fault though. Like working in retail is just it's just it's just a whole other thing. Like honestly, the rudest people I have ever encountered in my entire life has been through this job, and just the strangest people I have ever encountered in my life have been through this job, as in like the customers. Like yeah, I just feel like working in like retail and customer service is just such a humbling experience, because you sure encounter you sure encounter a few people. So yeah, grab yourself a cuppa. I'm on the water at the minute because it is boiling outside, but let's sit down and talk about my first ever job and some experiences that I experienced in it. So the first thing that I want to talk about that used to happen in this job is one that I just can't believe happened on such a regular basis. Like, I'm not going to talk about what shop this happened in, like where I worked, because like I don't want to get done for slander here, but it happens so often in this shop. I used to work in a department store that's quite well known across the UK and the world. Obviously still not mentioning which one it is, but the demographic for like the target market is mainly like elderly people. Like that's where a lot of elderly people go to shop. Like, not just elderly people. I used to shop there a little bit with the staff discount. I couldn't afford it otherwise. So yeah, just bear that in mind. There was like a lot of elderly people in the shop that couldn't always control their needs to go. And honestly, when I applied for this job, I never in my life thought that I would have to encounter so much human feces in a retail job. But I encountered so much shite all over the shop in this job. Like it was just, I'm laughing because it's not funny, but it's true. Like it was so disgusting. It happened so much where people would just, they'd just shit everywhere. There was a week, like a solid week, where every single day that week someone found shit somewhere in the shop. Like, and if you're wondering like whereabouts, like you think like, oh, in the public toilets maybe. Yes, sometimes there'd be stuff literally smeared all over there, but also not just there. I mean, I'm talking like everywhere you could imagine poo to be. There's been poo there, and literally I used to feel so gross working in that shop, because everything I picked up I was literally like, there's probably been poo on this. I'll tell you some of the places that stuff was found. So fitting rooms, one woman that I worked with was literally like on fitting room duty, and she was walking around, she was like, what is that smell? And she walked into like the fitting room and it was just smeared everywhere. She's like, are you messing? Then literally like there was that week there was so much poo everywhere. Like I was starting to think, is this a serial offender? Like no, what, like that, like a week of it, you just walk everywhere and there'll just be poo. One person picked up a clothes rail, like one of the members of staff, luckily. Like it seemed to always be members of staff that would find it, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but luckily it's a good thing, because like if a customer found this, like they'd never come back in the shop again. So one woman that I worked with as well, she went to put like clothes back on the racks, and she just picked up a like stack of clothes like that, and all the hangers were like that, so she picked up a bulk of them, and all the hangers in the middle had poo on them. Where else was there poo in the shop? Oh yeah, a lift, the lift story. So yeah, someone pooed in the lift, and it was found on CCTV. They came out of the public toilets, walked into the lift, smeared it all over the lift, like they actually smeared it all over the buttons. Like, what is the need? Anyway, so the cleaner came and cleared it up. Like, I don't want to be harsh to the cleaner or anything, but I didn't really trust that he had done like a thorough job. Like, you know, when part of you is just like, oh, I'd just rather gone in there myself and like cleared it up properly, but also I didn't want to go in there myself and clear it up properly. So anyway, like he cleared it up, and then the next day I was just like, I'm still so grossed out by this, I'm never getting in that lift ever. Like, so anyway, I was on the ground floor, and then there was this woman that was shopping there, and she was like an elderly woman, and she was just like, oh, do you mind coming up in the lift with me? There was 2 lifts as well, bear this in mind. So she was like, do you mind coming up in the lifts with me? I'm scared to go in the lift by myself. I was like, oh yeah, no problem, like I'll come up with her. And then she calls the lift, and I see the 2 lifts. One's going down to the ground floor, one's going up to the top floor. And I'm like, of course the one someone's shouting is coming down, and I've got to go in that now. Like, so this poor woman, obviously unaware that the day before there was human feces smeared all over the walls of that lift, she gets in, like, I can't believe I'm actually telling this story. Like, yeah, so anyway, me and her get in, and I'm like, it's fine, I'm not gonna touch anything, it's fine, it's cleared up, like it's been disinfected, it's fine, like I'm not gonna touch anything, so it's okay. Anyway, this woman, like, we both step in the lift, and then I was like, at least I'm not going to press the buttons. Like, I'll let her press the buttons, as horrible as it sounds, but I was just like, you know what she doesn't know won't hurt her, I'll let her press the buttons. So we get in, and we're both getting in, and then she stood by the buttons, and I'm sort of stood like ish by the buttons. Anyway, she looks at me, like the doors close, and I'm like, I'm not pressing the buttons, I'm just waiting, the doors closing, we're still in the lift. And then it was just like this massive long pause where she was like not pressing the button, and I was obviously trying not to press the button. So just there like, and it was just like such a long pause, and then she just sort of gives me this look of, as if to say, aren't you gonna press the button? So I'm just like, ugh, fine. I literally get my, like, I was wearing like a cardigan or something, I literally get that, and I'm like, and then I go and press the button, and she, like, I take her up and stuff, and then I take my lunch break early so I can just go and disinfect my hands. And I was like, oh, and I spent like the next half an hour just like scrubbing my hands. I was like, I can't believe I've just touched that. So yeah, like being on fitting room duty was always a risky job in that department store. Oh, also while we're talking about fitting rooms, this one didn't happen to me, but actually happened to my best friend Georgie, who also, she worked in the same shop as me. Sorry Georgie that I'm telling you a story, but literally whenever I think of this story I just cry laughing, because I just feel so bad for Georgie. So she was like just on the fitting rooms, just manning the fitting rooms, and then this woman comes up to her and goes, oh, excuse me, do you have a bin back there? Like, apparently, like, this woman just asked Georgie just so casually, like, oh, have you got a bin back there? So she's like, yeah, of course. So then this woman slaps something into her hand, like without any warning as to what it is. And normally, like, if someone says, oh, have you got a bin back there for this, they mean like, oh, a crisp packet, like chocolate bar wrapper, like paper, like nothing like to require a warning as to what it is, do you know what I mean? Anyway, like, Georgie's just like, yeah, sure, no problem, it's just back here, just hand it over. So this woman, without warning, just whacks into Georgie's hand a dead fish. Like, he just goes, yeah, do you mind just whacking that in the bin for me? And literally just placing it into a stranger's hand and goes, oh yeah, do you mind just, like, and it's a dead fish. And do you mind putting that dead fish in the bin for me, please? And literally just whacking a dead fish with like juices flowing all over her hands and everything like that. Just like, do you mind, dead fish, do you mind? Like, Like, honestly, some people, like, I actually cannot believe, like, first of all, who goes shopping with a dead fish? Like, what Georgie reckons happened was that the woman was, like, food shopping earlier and bought, like, fish or something, and then decided to try on a load of clothes, and then decided the fish was actually not good anymore because she spent so long trying on the clothes. And Georgie was like, I could tell exactly what fitting room she was in because it just stunk of fish, and I had to lock it up and, like, put air freshener in it and stuff. I was like, honestly, I'm so, like the cheek of some people, like literally, who goes up to a store assistant and goes, dead fish? So yeah, the last story that I'm going to tell is definitely my worst customer service moment ever, and there are some contenders, as you can probably tell. As in, like, this one is like way worse than tricking a complete stranger that they're a relative of mine. Like, this one I actually feel really bad about. Like I'm kind of laughing because you just can't make this stuff up. Like, I literally wouldn't even be able to imagine this one. Like, you just can't write it. But basically, I was like, my job in the shop was like a host, so basically, like, I just used to walk around the shop and see if anyone needed something, sort of just like floating from department to department, like sort of doing a little bit of personal shopping here and there. And me and this one host, when we were on the shifts, like literally we walk past each other, like if we needed to tell someone something, we'd just like say it in passing, like as we're going down the escalators or something. So anyway, like this one day, because it was quite like a big department store, this one woman came up to me on the ground floor and she was like, oh my gosh, like I've just lost my husband, like he looks like this, can you see if you can find him? So I was like giving a description of him. I can't remember what she said, you know, it was like, oh, he's like a brunette and he's got a red jacket on, sort of thing. So anyway, I went like looking around the shop for this woman's husband, seeing if I could find him, because she was really distressed, bless her. She's like, oh no, I can't find my husband. So as I'm doing this, I walk past another one of the hosts and I'm just like, oh, by the way, I'm just like looking for this woman's husband. He looks like this and stuff, so if you see him, like, just give him a shout and say that his wife's like downstairs looking for him. Anyway, like a few hours later, and this is where it all goes downhill, there's this other woman, like a complete different customer, and it's been a few hours at this point, so she's like in the fitting rooms and she's after this one particular top. And I remember seeing this top somewhere in the shop, so I'm just like, oh, no worries, like I will find it for you. This shop I used to work in used to have the little habit of moving stuff all the time, so like even like the staff couldn't really remember exactly where everything was. I say that, I could never remember where everything was, other people seem to. But anyway, it's like, no, we've definitely got that top. If you don't mind waiting, I'll just go and find it for you. It's just been moved around, but I will find it for you. So I took a size, took the colour that she wanted, and I was going around the shop. I was so determined to find this woman her top as well, because like I'd seen it. I was like, no, like I'll find it for you. Anyway, I was like, just take a seat in the fitting rooms and I'll be there in a minute. Anyway, I was looking for this top for ages and ages, and it wasn't on the shop floor anymore, but I was just like, I know we've definitely still got it, it will be in the stock room. But at this point, I'd been gone for ages from this woman, and I didn't want her thinking like, oh, where's she gone? And I see that the colleague from earlier, like the other host, she's going down the escalator. I was like, oh, by the way, like there's a woman in the changing room, she's got a yellow hat on, will you tell her, like, I'm finding the top she's got, I'm literally just about to get it to her, I've been gone a while, but will you just tell her, like, not to panic, I'm coming. So the other host sort of mixes up the two messages from throughout the day with the woman that can't find her husband and the woman that I'm just about to get this top to. So she goes to the fitting rooms to this woman and she goes, excuse me, are you the lady that's just lost her husband? And she goes, yeah, last Friday. So I'm completely unaware of what's just happened, and I hand her a top and, oh, there you go. And this woman's like looking really sad. But I just thought like, oh, maybe she's upset that I took ages like getting this top. So I was just like, you're right. She's like, yeah. So anyway, later that day, like this woman that I was working with came up to me and she was just like, you never guess what happened. Like literally I got your two messages mixed up, and she told me exactly what happened. And I had no idea what was going on in the fitting rooms when I just went and like gave him a top. And she was just like, literally, it was the worst thing ever. She was just like, I went up to the woman and was like, have you lost your husband? And she was like, yeah, last Friday. And then she just felt in such an awkward position, she could just be like, oh no, wrong woman. So she was just like, I'm really sorry, like that's awful to hear and stuff like that. But the whole time, like this poor customer must have been like, how do they know that I've just lost my husband? But anyway, like she starts like telling her like it's gonna be okay and stuff like that, and the whole time she's thinking, I'm gonna kill Izzy, like why has Izzy put me in this situation? So anyway, she starts talking to this poor lady. Then someone else comes out the fitting rooms and goes, I'm really sorry to eavesdrop, but I've just heard your sad news and I just want to say I've just lost my husband too, and like you will get through it and stuff. So like there's this whole like grief counselling thing going on in the fitting rooms, and I'm completely unaware of the little magic that I stirred up in the fitting rooms down there, and yeah, I feel terrible. Are you the woman that's lost her husband? Yeah, last Friday. Nice bit of day's work that, is it? So yeah, anyway, that's just a few experiences that I had working in retail. Wouldn't change the life of 18-year-old Izzy for the world. Honestly, a humbling experience. Thank you very much for watching. If you could be bothered to listen to my rambles up until this point, I just want to say thanks for watching, thanks for dealing with the bags under my eyes, and also thanks for dealing with my hair colour. I promise you my roots look more blended in person, but I've just seen what they look like on camera and they look like I've just decided not to dye half my hair. But c'est la vie, c'est la vie. There's more important things in life, like clearing up strangers' toilet situations when you work in retail. That's important. But yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I make new videos on a Wednesday at 5. Normally, I'm trying to get back into making videos on the regular, so stay tuned. If you like my story times, then who doesn't like stories about poo? So if you like them, just make sure to do a thumbs up. Or yeah, if you want to subscribe, then feel free to do that, and then why not like follow my social media links that are in the description below. That would be banter too. I feel like I'm actually getting delusional because it turns out you can't substitute caffeine for sleep, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.